Venezuela.
Yes, I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. My mom was born here in Colombia, so I got the double nationality. I'm Colombian and Venezuelan as well.
Okay, and you got out of Venezuela before things got really bad, right?
Well, yeah, I got out of Venezuela. It was bad already when I was there, but I got out of there before it got really, really, really bad because every day it getting worse and worse that country. The inflation rate every day, the money is the worthless money in the world. People make, if you are lucky to have a job in Venezuela, because another thing is that you can't find a job over there, so there's a lot of unemployment. So if you have a job, you make as a low salary $3 a month.
A month.
A month.
How does anybody eat or live?
I don't know. So that's what a lot of people over there, they are leaving the country because literally people are dying, they're starving to death. Last year, 40,000 children died of starvation. That's a fact.
Well,
So
once upon a time, not too long ago, Venezuela was the richest and most affluent country in South America.
and really touristic.
Right? The envy
Yeah.
of South America and many other countries in the
Yes.
world. What happened?
What happened was like back in the day, Venezuela used to be used to be democracy country, you know, and
Like America.
Yeah, and in 1999, it turns into a socialist country when President Hugo Chavez got elected as a president. So since then, the president started going down, and then when Chavez died, which was in 2012 or 2013, around that, Nicolas Maduro got in the press as a president, and the country went like this, straight to the bottom.
So he's also a socialist.
He's also a socialist dictator, but
So
they call it's a dictator.
right, it's a dictatorship
And he
now.
says that his country is democracy, that's human rights, but it's full of lies. You can believe. He said that Venezuela it's okay when in reality it's not okay. People are dying. You go to the supermarkets, there's no food, they're empty. You can find probably Coca-Cola, Pepsi, but you don't find pasta, rice, beans, like the basic food that you need for you to live. You cannot find it in any supermarket.
So here's my question: If the country was so prosperous, why did people vote for Hugo Chavez in the first place?
The first place, well, the ignorance of the people. The majority of the people in Venezuela, they are poor people. So a lot of them, they haven't have the education that they need to be smart enough to don't get brainwashed by these candidates to be president. So other thing, you go to the drugstore and you cannot find even a pill for a headache. You can find deodorant, shampoo, makeup for the girls doesn't exist, diapers for the babies doesn't exist. So the country collapsed in all the ways that you can think of, all the ways. And Venezuela is the country that have more oil in the world. And even we having problem with the gas. With people to fill their tanks in their cars, people, my brother that are still living there, they tell me when I used to live back in Venezuela 4 years ago, they used to take them 3 hours in a line to fill their tank. Now, they're taking 2 days making a line to fill up the tank of his car with gasoline.
Sure. So I'm Venezuelan. I grew up there, born and raised. I saw a lot of similarities. I've seen a lot of parallels between what's happening now, the movements that are sort of wreaking havoc in the United States right now, and how they are similar to what we had and what destroyed our country. The only difference being in that those groups that are not in power right now are just political movements. Here in the United States, for us, they were already in the government. So I am a little bit worried that these groups will gain momentum and will actually get to political power.
Right. What were some of the first signs that made you draw those parallels in your mind and, perked your ears to what was going on around us in America?
It's hard to pinpoint the first signs, but for most recently, I guess it would be the knocking down of the Columbus statue, which I know here, I didn't realize the United States, so many people had this idea of Columbus, like this, he was a horrible man, when he never even came to the United States. One of the first statues that came down in Venezuela was of Columbus. And why is that? Because he was sort of the symbol of the Europe and America coming together, the discovery of America. And that is something that they wanted to get rid of. That was something that they wanted to reject. And then after that, of course, street names, they changed a lot of the street names in Venezuela to something more, I would say, indigenous or native, which you would think, oh, that's all right, that's a nice thing. But when you take into account the message that these groups are bringing, like the fact that they are openly saying they're Marxist, or the one of the leaders of the movement has gone to Venezuela and expressed a friendship to the Venezuelan government. Yep. All of that put together, recipe for disaster.
They're poor. He helped a lot of poor people.
Well, what did he say about the rich people?
He was born poor, Chavez, and he died rich. So he got a lot of hate of the rich people. He hated rich people. But he became rich, and Venezuela became a socialist country, right? Socialist country they're supposed to make their own products and don't use any product for other countries. That's what socialism is about it. But Chavez's family, his daughters, they go to United States and they see post picture in Facebook using Levi's, using Oakley's sunglasses, all kind of American brands. So what is the socialism example? If they're Chavez kids, they use American brands, So
did he want to take? Typically in socialism, what you hear of is there's a redistribution of wealth, that the money that the rich have, they have too much, and everybody else needs to have theirs.
Yeah, they used to start taking, for example, if a rich guy used to have a farm with, let's say, 30,000 acres, he used to take from that person 10,000 acres and give it to the poor people and build houses for the poor people.
Just take it.
Take
what wasn't his from somebody who
just
earned
take it for not legally, just in bad ways with the military. This is mine now, and there's nothing that you can do.
So what happened to the rich people then? Because their money is worth a lot less too. I just read the other day that inflation in Venezuela on the bolivar is now 200,000%. So what happened to the rich people?
The most of the rich people, they have left the country. They have left to countries like United States or Europe. Mostly all my family. The only ones that are in Venezuela, it's my mom, my brother, and my nephew. And the rest, they're in other countries. I have a cousin in London, I have family in the United States, I have another cousin in Netherlands. I'm here in Colombia because I got the nationality, so it was easy for me to get a legit job in here and speak English. And I'm working as a tour guide in here, and I love my job in here. So far so good, working out.
But you send money back to your mother and
your
family?
I help them out because they don't get in their pension. My mom is 70 years old. She's not getting the pension that she's supposed to get for being an old person in third age.